Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Anifa, and today the question is, do I regret going to grad school? So I was sitting here and I'm like, I want to film a YouTube video, and I came up with this question. I haven't really thought about it, I haven't planned out this video, but I'm just going to authentically speak with you guys, go through my decision making, why I went to grad school, how grad school went, and whether I regret it. Okay, so why did I go to grad school in the first place? So I made my decision to go to grad school and to apply in May 2022. I was living with my parents. I was in Colorado and I had a job remotely that was temp. In my job, I did not feel fulfilled. I did not feel pushed. I also felt very lost with what I was doing with my life. So basically, I graduated from undergrad in 2020. And after I graduated from undergrad, I wanted to find a job in the beauty industry. I got my first internship, and when I got that job, I just didn't really enjoy that job. And honestly, I think if I knew what I wanted, I would have enjoyed it more. But because at the time I was just kind of confused about what I wanted to do in my career, and I was putting so much pressure on myself, I did not enjoy that job. So I let it go. So I think if I didn't put too much pressure on myself to figure things out, I probably would have stayed with the company longer, and maybe I would have figured out what I wanted to do through getting professional experience. But anyways, so I left that job, and then I had like a really long break from working, and then I went back to work in another job in the beauty industry, and that's the job that I was working at the time that I decided to go to grad school. So I got that job, and then quickly I just realized that I'm so bored in this job. Like, what am I doing in my life? Like, I just kind of felt like I was working for this big company and it was like a big deal, but like at the same time, what I was doing day to day, like I just didn't really enjoy it. And again, I'm someone who really puts a lot of pressure on myself. I overthink things, and I'm a big dreamer. So I think that's honestly something that I did that I feel like maybe would have self-sabotaged the opportunity for me. But again, bored out of my mind, I decided to like apply for grad school. But before I applied to grad school, for months I was watching videos of other people in grad school in London, and that was honestly so inspirational. And also, I wanted to go back to London, so I studied abroad in London. And at this point, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go back to London. Like, I don't see myself living anywhere else in the US. Like, let me go back to London. So it just felt like the perfect opportunity for me to go back to school and also go back to London. Now, to go back to school, the whole idea of it was to just give me time to slow down and really figure out what I wanted. And also, I thought if I studied marketing and I went to grad school for it, I could figure out where I fit in marketing. Now, this was such a dumb idea. In my career field, I was mainly working in marketing roles. And then when I was in undergrad, I didn't really focus in on marketing. Like, I had a degree in international business, so I wanted to just focus on marketing. And I thought that by just focusing on marketing, I would figure out what I wanted to do. And yeah, I don't know. That's what I thought. I thought that by the time I finished grad school, I would know exactly what I wanted to do with my life. But like I said, it was May 2022 and I was bored with my life with my parents. So I also wanted to have fun. I wanted to go out. I honestly kind of wanted to live my undergrad days all over again and just slow down. I feel like someone who graduated in June 2020, I just kind of feel like some of my 20s were robbed. And I guess like this period of me going to grad school in London was going to be me reclaiming my time from COVID. So June 2022, I decided to go to grad school, and I applied, I get in, and all that happens. And honestly, I did not save for this, and I didn't think like financially, like how am I gonna do this? And that was honestly a big mistake. Like, I just wish I would have slowed myself down and prioritized figuring out things financially. Like, I wish I would have gave myself a year to figure out things financially, like save, apply for scholarships. Like, there's just things that I just wish I would have done. But instead, I was like, you know what? I want to go now, and I'm going to do it now. And I was like, I'm just going to push my school to give me more scholarship money, which I did. So I basically, they offered me a financial aid package, and then I kind of pushed back on it, and by doing that I was able to get like 40% of my tuition covered. So that was good, but I still needed 60%, and I needed to have some type of like money for rent and for just like living in London. So I was like, okay, you know what, that's okay, I'm just gonna apply for scholarships along the way, and hopefully I get something. By the way, I ended up not getting any scholarships after the ones that I had got from my school. So yeah, slow down, give yourself a year to like really save up, apply for scholarships. And yeah, that's like my number one advice. September 2022, am I saying that right? 2022. I feel like I'm saying 2022. Oh my gosh, if I'm saying that like that, please guys forgive me. But anyways, in September, I was waiting for my visa. My visa to go to London took forever to come. Like, it literally took 2 months to get to me. So by the time that my visa came in October, when classes had already started, that's when I like packed everything up and left. And also, I bought my plane ticket the day that my visa arrived. So my visa arrived like at 12 p.m. I bought my ticket for London. The flight departed at like 5 p.m. and I was out. Like, it was so chaotic, and honestly I was like, is my visa being delayed a sign that I shouldn't be going to London? Like, that's what I thought. Like, I thought, oh my gosh, it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. And then my school was also telling me like, hey, if you don't arrive by this date, then you can't enroll in classes. And I was like, no, I'm coming. I'm coming. And I kept pushing back on them, and then they just, eventually just like were able to just like relax and wait until I got my visa. But anyways, I get to London. London was so chaotic. Oh my god. Like, again, this is a process. Like, if you're moving internationally for school, don't be like me and just do everything last minute. Like, I literally got to London, I had an Airbnb for a month, and I was still looking for housing. I didn't really have housing. So the first couple of months of me being in London, they were so chaotic. I was literally living from like one Airbnb to the next, and it was so hard for me to find housing. A lot of the people, like the renters in London, like they require you to pay at least 6 months of rent in advance if you're an international student, or you need to have a UK guarantor, which I did not have any of those two things. But thankfully in December, that's right, I arrived in October and didn't get housing until December, but during the first week of December, I moved into a student housing accommodation. They were willing to take a guarantor from the UK or from the US, or like from outside of the UK. So that ended up working out for me. But oh my gosh, I was losing my mind. So the first couple of like months in school, like, it was pretty easy. Like, I would say like the first 2 months were easy, and then after that, I remember getting my grades for like the end of the semester or the term or the quarter, and I just remember being like, damn, this is gonna be hard, because I felt like, oh, I've already taken marketing classes before, like I'm gonna be okay. But I'm not gonna lie to you, some of those classes were hard, like just things that I didn't really enjoy doing, like analytics and finance. Like, I hated those classes so much, and they were so hard. Even in grad school, the schedule that I was on in grad school, it was really fast. Like, I want to say like every like 60 days, or like it was even faster than that. It felt like every month we were changing classes. So our classes were really only like 2 months long. So like, we'd only be taking 2 classes for like, actually no, it was more like a month long. We take 2 classes, and then another 2, and then another 2. Like, it moved really, really fast. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say, like, I don't know if I got the like timeline right, but the classes, they moved fast. So we had 3 quarters, and we took so many classes, and we had like assignments due literally every week, and we were always doing group work. And yeah, so did I find time to actually evaluate what I wanted to do? No, I did not. Like, I don't even think I would be in those classes thinking like, oh, do I want to do finance? I mean, I already know I don't want to do finance or analytics. I just was having fun. Like, I was going to the club, what was I doing? I was going to club, I was going to concerts, I was going out to eat, I was exploring London, I was going to Barcelona, Morocco, you name it all. I was honestly doing what the other part of me wanted to do when I came to London, which was to have fun, to like just be stress free, even though I was actually really stressed. So yeah, like studying abroad in London was super expensive. Like London as a city in itself, it was super expensive. And quickly I realized I need a job. I had been applying for jobs for like a couple months when I arrived, but I wasn't able to get a job until I think I started my job in London in March 2023. So that's when I got a job, because London was just, yeah, it was becoming too much. So then I honestly spent my time at my job where I worked at a makeup counter. So like I guess that kind of like working the job at the makeup counter actually kind of gave me insight in what I wanted to do. Like as I stated, I worked in the beauty industry, so like being back in stores, it just really sparked my interest and my passion for beauty all over again. And it made me realize that when I first got that internship when I was straight out of college, like I would have actually enjoyed doing that if I would have stayed, because basically in that job, like I was helping like run the stores globally, not globally, I'm sorry, like the US stores. So basically I would help like with product launches and like updating like the gondolas that you see when you walk into a Sephora. It was like, it was honestly a really fun job. And when I was back in the stores, I was like, oh my god, I should have stayed in that job. Like I would have actually enjoyed it long term. But also maybe I made the right decision. I don't know, like I feel like I'm just in this era of life where I'm just kind of like evaluating everything, like did I really make the right decision then? But also if I would have stayed in that job, I would have never went to London. I would have never went back to school so soon. But because I was so lost for so long, I was just like, I'm just gonna go to school, like this is gonna solve everything, which obviously isn't it. But yeah, being in the retail job, I would say gave me more of an insight of like what I wanted to do long term. I knew for a fact that I liked being in the beauty industry. I like working with people. I like working with products. Can I find the right job that encompasses all those things? I don't know. We'll see. Like, maybe I could do a social media job. Maybe I could do social media, because I'm doing a social media freelancing role right now. And if I was like working directly with the products and creating content and working with influencers, like that would be fun. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll go back to beauty and I'll work a social media job. But anyways, so yeah, that gave me insight. I would say one thing that grad school helped me with like big time is we had to do a lot of presentations. And because we're constantly doing presentations, I feel like I became a better public speaker. So now when I'm presenting information, like I am so much better than I was before. Before I used to really be freaking out and I just would freeze and not know what to say. But now I'm definitely more confident. Also, it's just like little things that I got better at, like making a presentation. Like I could make a really bomb presentation now. Like Canva, I've been in Canva just putting in the work. So yeah, I feel like grad school, it freshened up my knowledge on certain things, presentation making, doing presentations, like being very like businessy, but like it really just didn't give me insight in what I wanted to do long term. And I think moving forward, like I'm gonna release the pressure that I put on myself to have it all figured out, and I'm just gonna let myself be. Like that's the era I'm gonna be in. I'm just gonna let myself be and stop trying to have this perfect path that I'm trying to do, because what if what I'm trying to do is not the path that God has, determined for me, So I'm just gonna let God be and let God lead me. But anyways, so do I regret going to grad school? Okay, so right now I am currently unemployed. It has been, oh my god, I got a notification from the UK visa office because I applied for a visa to work in the UK for 2 years, but I got a notification today saying it's been 6 months since you've got your visa. Like, so yeah, it's been 6 months since I had my UK visa, and I graduated 2 months before I got my visa. So 8 months. 8 months, no, yeah, 8 months since graduation. I'm not employed full time. I honestly also had this misconception that like as soon as I get my master's degree that I'm going to be more qualified for jobs and it's going to be easier for me to get jobs. And I'm going to just go ahead and say that is not true. It's not true. Like, I have not seen my master's pay off like right away. Like, I just have not seen it. Maybe in the long term it will. Maybe the benefit from me going back to school was me just being in London and just me enjoying life in London. I don't know, but that's a really pretty pricey decision to make. Like, grad school was very, 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 very expensive, and I don't know if I made the right decision. Like, I really don't know. I think for me to really believe that I made the right decision, I have to see it like long term. Like, I need to see myself get to a point where I could say, oh wow, like me getting that degree really helped. I guess my best advice for anyone that wants to get a degree and go back to school, this is what I would have told me. I would say, number one, I think it's okay if you want to take a break from life and you just want to go back to school and just be in a place where you're learning. I would say make sure that you're okay with however much money you're taking out as a loan. Make sure you save up. Make sure that financially you understand everything that's going on and that you're okay with it, because that's going to be really important. Because if you're not okay with it from the get-go, you're going to have resentment for that degree in the long run. So that's number one. Number two, decide, do you want to stay with your parents, save money, and do grad school in your own like hometown, or do you want to go internationally and do grad school in a different country? So I don't know, for me it was really important that I just experienced life. I guess one thing that I wish I could have done is maybe like research, like done it a lot earlier and researched like different schools and had a lot of options and was able to see what my financial situation would look like from different schools. I will say this though, guys, I loved the school that I went to. So now I'm not sure if I would go to a different school, because I loved the school that I went to. It was very international, and also like we had our own building. Like the graduates, the postgrads, we had our own building. So everyone in that building was new to the school. We were all doing our masters, or some people were doing their MBAs. And like they just did a lot of activities. Like there was a lot of community activities, so it was really easy to meet people. Whereas when I studied abroad in London the first time, and I went to a UK school, and they just put me in the middle of like the campus, and I had to figure things out. I hated it because people were not nice. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Like I would be trying to make friends with these people who already live in London and who don't really care to get to know international students, because there's so many people that come in and out of London. So like Londoners don't really care. Like they're not really trying to be your friend unless maybe if you live there long term, then you're able to make connections. Whereas this time I was placed in an environment where everyone was kind of going through the same thing. So everyone was open and they wanted to know each other, and like, yeah, like that, I made a lot of friends because of that. So I think circumstance-wise, I enjoyed that more because I got to have a better social life. So anyways, decide if you're gonna stay at home. I have friends who literally stayed at home with their parents, saved a lot of money, and that was more important to them. Whereas for me, being back in London and just having this international experience was more important to me. And then number three, before you go to grad school, get work experience. Did you hear me? Get work experience. Because I think the reason why I can't say that going to grad school was beneficial is because I wish I would have worked and I had like way more work experience and then I had gone back. What would I say is a good amount of work experience? I would say 3 to 4 years plus. If you get that amount of work experience in, you can go to grad school, come back, and like it will be so much easier for you to get a job after you graduate. I think my biggest thing that is holding me back from finding a job right now is because I just do not have enough work experience. I barely have like 1.5 work experience, and I just wish I would have given myself another year and got to that 3 and gone into grad school stronger, because then companies would want me. So get your work experience. I would say get all your entry level work experience in, so that when you have that master's degree, you can go straight into getting like an assistant manager, or like, you know, moving up in your career. And I just didn't plan it that way. So I guess I don't I felt like the time that I went to grad school and the program, like I enjoyed it so much, but I feel like maybe I should have waited like a year or two, like a year. It's just, I think the thing that holds me back in life is I feel like if I don't do something right now, I'm never gonna like make it. Like if I didn't go to grad school that year, I would never go. Or I would become too old to go. Like, give yourself time, give yourself grace. You do not have to have it figured out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. So I guess we're gonna say officially, I regret going to grad school at the time that I did, but I will do the whole thing all over again. Alright guys, that is the end of my video. If you guys have any questions regarding this topic, have you been thinking about whether you should go to grad school, or did you go to grad school and now are considering whether you regret it or if it was a good choice for you? Comment below, what decision did you come to? If you guys want me to talk about other topics, please comment them below and I will address them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye. Good day in my mind, said to take a step out, get some air now, lay your edge out. Too so nice, but you be heavy in my mind.